Good. I will acknowledge with gratitude for the invitation of me to be one of the participants and one of the speakers in this international conference organized by the Student Society of Canon Law in Varghese, the University in Kraków, Poland. Of course, this is indeed a great pleasure for me to be able to associate with you people. Thank you very much. See, we have 24 churches sui juris in the Catholic community. Besides the Latin Church, we have 23 Eastern Catholic churches. And in India, we have 3 churches sui juris: the Latin Church, Syro Malabar Church, and Syro Malabar Church. I belong to the Syro Malabar Major Archiepiscopal Church. St. Thomas, one of the apostles of Jesus Christ, is our father in faith and the founder of our church. My tradition and over generation to generation, St. Thomas the Apostle evangelized India in the very first century. So we all owe our birth and growth in Christian Catholic faith from St. Thomas the Apostle. Now, coming to our topic, impact of Second Vatican Council and the Code of Canons of the Eastern Churches. You see, I would like to bring to your attention the very opening words of St. John 23rd. See, when he convoked the Second Vatican Council, the purpose of the council is to raise a new edifice on the foundations laid in the code of history, which is the divine and human beings that the church has at its disposal. A new spiritual strength and an enlightened and active faith. In short, a total and an integral and a continuous renewal of the church. It was the intention of the Holy Father when we convoked the great ecumenical synod of the Second Vatican Council. Now, see the Code of Canons of the Eastern Churches. You see, Canon law as a sacred science is called canonistics. Just like the patristics, patristics, the theology of the fathers. So here, Canon law is a sacred science, a system of laws and legal principles. It is a body of laws intended to regulate church's external organization and internal government. Immutable divine law or natural law is on basis of the positive ecclesiastical laws which sprung up from the ancient tradition of 23 churches sui juris in Varghese. The Code of Canons of Eastern Churches is considered as a neat complement to the teaching proposed by the Second Vatican Council. We know for certain that the common canonical legislation of the Eastern Catholic Churches came into force on 1st of October 1991. It was promulgated by St. John Paul II on 18th October 1990. The Pope qualified it as the final crown piece of the magisterium of the Second Vatican Council. We know the Code of Canon Law, CIC, was promulgated by the same Holy Father, St. John Paul II, in the year 1983. And the first of volumes about the reformation of the Roman Curia that was promulgated promulgated in the year 1988, Pastor Paulus, it refers to the reformation of the Roman Curia to assist the supreme pontiff in the governance of the Church universal. The Roman Church order, that's the basic thing. In the first millennium, we had the sacred canons, and these sacred canons are considered to be the very souls and the foundation. So, in the light of or in line the spirit from the sacred canons, the Holy Father, in his apostolic constitution, Sacred Canons, by which he promulgated the code, he exhorted all the believers in the church, or the believers in the church, in the following words: the wonderfully great variety of rites, that is of the liturgical, theological, spiritual, and disciplinary heritage of those churches that have their origins in the venerable Alexandrian, Antiochian, Armenian, Chaldean, and Constantinopolitan traditions. The sacred canons are rightly regarded as a notable constituent of that same heritage, constituting a single, common, canonical foundation of the church order. Now, the council through its different reasons, directives, and details, it enabled the believers, the members of the church, to a new way of thinking. Now, however, with the changing conditions for life seems to evolve more rapidly, and must be prudently reformed. Specifically, it must be accommodated to a new way of thinking, proper to the Second Ecumenical Council of the Vatican, in which pastoral care and individual needs of the people of God are met. For the 6th on 20th, now 1965, during the plenary assembly, he spoke these words. Now, coming to the different rites, we read the canon of the code of the Canons of the Eastern Churches, canon number 28. A rite is a liturgical, theological, spiritual, and disciplinary heritage. Disciplinary heritage differentiated by the culture and the circumstances of the history of peoples, which is expressed by each church so in its own manner of living the faith, by its legacy, the heritage or patrimony of a church sui juris. Diversity of rites in the church mainly because it's due to two factors, the culture and the history. The noticeably constituent elements of rite alongside liturgy, spirituality, theology, and discipline, but they are factors differentiating one rite from the other. Basically, we know the manner of living the faith that's fundamental to the communion of the growth and the multiplication, or the growth and the propagation of the faith, or the faith of the people in Jesus Christ. The different rites, they point to an important doctrine of the church, so to say. The Lumen Gentium, Article 23, speaks about the unity and diversity which should be respected by everybody. By divine providence, it has come about various churches, found in various places by the apostles and by their successors, have the course of time become joined together into several groups, or tactically united, which, while maintaining the unity of faith and the unique divine constitution of the universal church, enjoy their own discipline, their own liturgical usage, patrimony of one individual church or a church's sojourneys. It is differentiated, by we have already seen theology, spirituality, and the discipline, differentiated by the culture, the custom, the history, everything. So the tradition, antiquity, very important in the history of each and every church. The Catholic Church highly esteems the institutions, liturgical rites, ecclesiastical traditions, and the way of Christian life of the Christian churches. For in them, as renowned for their venerable antiquity, shines forth the tradition which exists through the fathers from the apostles, and it constitutes part of the divinely revealed and undivided heritage of the whole church. So this unity in diversity is accepted, but at the same time, nobody can enjoy a pre-eminence over other church. Means that Maria comes to be very clear, stating that all rights, all churches are equal. All have the rights and obligations. It's a very important observation. The same churches enjoy equal dignity, so that none of them ranks higher than others by reason of their right. And they enjoy the same rights and are bound by the same laws, even as God's preaching the gospel throughout the whole world under the direction of the common pontiff, or enlightening ecclesiastical decree, the decree on the Eastern churches. So also we again come to a important point in the same decree, article number 5, the churches of the East and West enjoy the right and are bound by duty to govern themselves in accordance with their own particular rules. See that they are recommended by venerable antiquity, are more suited to the customs of their faithful, and seem more suitable for assuring the good of souls. So the equality of rights and obligations, is respected by the Second Vatican Council, and that particular teaching is translated in canonical language in the code. They will come to the right to self-governance. From the earliest times, the Eastern churches followed their own disciplines, which were sanctioned with the approval of the fathers of the church and of the synods, even of ecumenical synods. This synod solemnly declares, the Second Council solemnly declares that the churches of the East, while mindful of the necessary unity of the whole church, have the right to govern themselves according to the disciplines so proper to themselves. Number 16, the Unitatis of the Varghese, the decree on ecumenism. So, in the rank of this particular right to self-governance, it's very important to note the age-old, ancient patriarchal institution that is established. According to the most ancient gradation of the church, already recognized by the first ecumenical councils, the patriarchal institution has flourished in the church. Therefore, special honor is given according to the patriarchs of the Christian churches, who each presides over his respective patriarchal church as his father and head. We have this passage from Canon 55 of the Code of the Canons of the Eastern churches. We know in the Catholic communion, there are 6 patriarchal churches: Coptic Church in the Alexandrian family, Syrian and Maronite patriarchs in the Anglican tradition, then Armenian patriarchal church in the Armenian tradition, then Christian patriarchate in the Christian tradition, and the mankind patriarchal church in the Constantinopolitan or Byzantine tradition. So also we have four major archiepiscopal churches in the Catholic communion. They are Ukrainian Church, Syro-Malabar Church, Syro-Margaret Church, and the Romanian Church. See, the CCO, or we can say, that is canonized the conciliar directive. Patriarchs in their synods are to be the highest authority for all business of the patriarchal church, including the election of new eparchies and the appointment of bishops. That is given in Article number 9 of the Oriental Church. A patriarchal church is invested with the highest grade of ecclesial autonomy among the churches sui juris, where it is organs to handle legislative, judicial, and administrative powers. So they have a patriarchal church, different organs, legislative power, judicial power, and administrative power. Legislative power resides in the Episcopal Synod. The limits of laws not to be contrary to common law of Eastern churches or universal church. Binding courts is limited to the territory of the patriarch. But law was communicated to the Pope for information, not for approval or confirmation. The Canon 111, paragraph number 3. Regarding judicial power of the patriarchal church, we will see later. The administrative power is almost entirely in the hands of the patriarch, elected for land by the Episcopal Synod. Patriarch, with the consent of the Episcopal Synod, can elect new eparchies or ecclesiastical promises. Synod of bishops elects bishops and the metropolitans. Patriarch can establish an inter-eparchial seminary with the consent of the Synod of bishops, or even a Catholic university, as per its 42 and its 42. Authority of the Latin bishops to teach the Episcopal Conference as Episcopal Conference has disputed. But the authority of Oriental Episcopal Synods and Councils to teach is clearly stated in Canon 6.5. Now, you see, we have the patriarchal churches, the patriarchal Episcopal churches, the metropolitan churches, sui juris, and other churches. You see, the Holy Father, St. John Paul II, when he promulgated the Pope, was very particular to state, putting a tinge of doubt and with a special emphasis that all the particular of the church sui juris shall enact special laws. I read. Furthermore, in this area, full attention should be given to all those things that discord and rest to the particular law and divine individual churches sui juris, which are not considered which are not considered necessary to the common good of all of the Eastern churches. Our attention regarding these things is that those who enjoy legislative power in each of the churches should take counsel as soon as possible for particular laws, keep in mind the traditions of their own life and the precepts of the Second Vatican Council. In this context, I'll be happy to bring your attention that Syro-Malabar Major Archiepiscopal Church. It was recognized as a church sui juris in the year 1992. Then, in the year 2003, the particular law of the Syro-Malabar Church was promulgated, and from 2028 which a revision is now under the way. It's in progress. Now, Code of Canons of Eastern Churches left ample space for supplementary norms known as particular law in the terminology of the Code of the Canons of the Eastern Churches. These norms are derived from the legal tradition of each church's rules. The space for particular law in accordance with the venerable doctrine or legal tradition of each church is considered to be a major and explicit contribution of the Oriental Code. The chief objective of this space left is for each church to formulate or enact particular law and thus to enable it to flourish and fulfill with a fresh apostolic vigor the task entrusted to it in harmony with Article number 1 of Orient Guiding Ecclesiology. When he has said to observe the laws and norms based on the disciplinary heritage of these churches are better suited to the good of their faith. The Oriental Code imitates to the codification of the discipline common to all the Eastern churches, leaving to the competent authorities of these churches the power to regulate by a particular law all other matters. The solemn declaration of Vatican II and the application of the principle of subsidiarity are blended together in the directive. It is the intention of the Catholic Church that the traditions of each particular church are to remain whole and entire. Now, it's also important to note that each and every church shall have the right to enjoy their legitimate freedom and also the inculturation wherever a new church is found. The situation is gone for second in the apostolic exhortation Ecclesia in Asia. 6 November 1999, he emphasized that the situation of the Catholic Eastern churches, principally of the Middle East and India, paid special attention to apostolic times. They had been the custodians of the precious spiritual, liturgical, and theological heritage. Their traditions and rites, born of a deep inculcation of faith in the soil of many Asian countries, deserve the greatest respect. Because Synod Fathers, I call upon everyone to recognize the legitimate customs and the legitimate freedom of these churches in disciplinary and liturgical matters as stipulated by the Code of Canons of the Eastern churches. I would also like to bring your attention that in the year 2017, October, President Pope Francis, he started a letter to the bishops of India. He re-established the all India jurisdiction of the Syro-Malabar Church, the right to evangelization of all India, and the right for pastor care of all the immigrants from the Mother Church, from the Syro-Malabar Church. So that was accepted, that was recognized, and that was re-established by the President Pope. So it's a very good illustration of the role of both culture and history, differentiating one right from the other. Now, coming to the judicial power or the administration of justice in the patriarchal church is something very important that we should know. You see, we know the purpose of an ecclesiastical trial. The purpose, first of all, the protection of the rights of individuals. Second, the administration of justice. Third, the search or the certitude of truth. Then, salvation of souls. And safeguarding the public or the common good. So, in the light of this recognition of the right to govern of the Eastern churches, the Episcopal Synod in the major archiepiscopal or the patriarchal churches, the administration of justice that has been duly recognized. I read the canon. The Synod of Bishops of the Patriarchal Church, without prejudice to the competence of the Apostolic See, is the superior tribunal within the territorial boundaries of the Patriarchal Church. The Synod of Bishops of the Patriarchal Church must elect by secret ballot for a 5-year term, and from among its members, a general moderator for the administration of justice, as well as 2 bishops, who together with him as president constitute a tribunal. This tribunal to judge the contentious cases of eparchies and bishops and even provinces and even titular bishops. An appeal in these cases is made to the Synod of Bishops of the Patriarchal Church, with any further appeal excluded without prejudice to Canon 59. The general moderator for the administration of justice has a right of vigilance over all tribunals located within the territorial boundaries of the Patriarchal Church, as well as the right of deciding if an objection is to be raised against any judge of the ordinary tribunal of the Patriarchal Church. Here, what's very important to be not see the Synod of Bishops of a major archiepiscopal church or a patriarchal church is considered to be the superior tribunal. We know that the Synod of Apostolic is a supreme tribunal for the whole universal Catholic Church. The figure of general moderator of administration of justice in a patriarchal or major archiepiscopal church is new to Eastern Common Law. He has episcopal character involving full participation in the bonus regime, enjoys judicial and executive power. This judicial power is evident in his being the presiding judge of the synodal tribunal that judges in first instance contentious cases advanced against bishops. Moreover, he is competent to resolve exceptions of suspicion or recusal against judges of ordinary tribunal of the patriarchal or major archiepiscopal church. He enjoys executive power by keeping to his right to exercise vigilance over the eparchial tribunals as well as metropolitan tribunals situated within the territory of the patriarchal or major archiepiscopal church. However, each eparchial bishop as bishop moderator of his own tribunal or moderator of inter-eparchial or inter-ecclesial tribunal where they exist must exercise these vigilance, the supervisory character to ensure meticulous observance of procedural law and the use of correct jurisprudence. It's very important. It's a word of moderator of the administration of justice. See, in Canon 1501, in the Oriental Code, so there is a reference to not to the jurisprudence of the Roman law, but ecclesiastical jurisprudence. It's a very noteworthy expression. The jurisprudence of the Roman law is, of course, it has a preeminence in the administration of justice, awaiting the decisions, the insights of judges and its application in the law of tribunals. But ecclesiastical jurisprudence, it indicates something more, in the spirit of the Asian tradition, the spirit of the decrees of Second Vatican Council, namely Orientalian Ecclesia, and Unitatis de Gratia, and in the spirit of the code of canons of the Eastern churches, the jurisprudence, the development of particular jurisprudence is very important in each church. So you is taking account the culture, the tradition, the customs, the history, the manner or the practice of the faith, the living, the practice of the faith of the people, or the manner of living of the faith of the communion of the people. So taking account of all these elements, each church shall develop their own jurisprudence. So the jurisprudence of an Eastern church it consists of all this practice, and it's something very important. So when we advocate, especially the marriage and nullity cases, the local circumstances, the customs, the traditions, the culture, and the tradition are very important. So there are all the jurisprudence in that perspective. It does not cover all these essential elements of jurisprudence. So in that line of thought, we could justify the ecclesiastical jurisprudence in the Oriental Code, Canon 15.1. The moderator of the administration of justice has the right to issue precepts and order tribunals to correct irregular practices and conform to a proper jurisprudence. It is natural that prior to the intervention, you should hear the bishop, moderator, and officials involved in. It is advisable to include the points of vigilance in the annual report to the Apostolic Signatura. There is also provision for these and related matters in the statutes of the tribunal. So, in this context, I would also indicate a preeminent position of the Supreme Pontiff in the administration of justice. See, we read in Oriental Code, Canon 1059. By reason of the primacy of the Roman Pontiff, any member of the Christian faithful is free to refer his or their case at any stage or grade of the trial to the Roman Pontiff. Being the supreme judge for the entire Catholic world, he relates judicial decisions personally through the tribunals of apostolic or through judges he has delegated. This referral, so strictly meaning provocation, neither an appeal nor a recourse, a referral to say provocation. The Roman Pontiff, however, does not suspend the exercise of power by a judge who has already begun to adjudicate a case and subject the case of an appeal. For this reason, the judge can continue with a trial to the definitive sentence unless it is evident that the Roman Pontiff has called the case to himself. And then 59. So here, any faithful, any individual person has a right to approach the Supreme Pontiff. He is the Supreme Pontiff. He is the leader, the maker of Christ, the leader of Christ, and as a Supreme Pontiff, as a leader of the whole Catholic community in the church universal. Naturally, any Christian people can approach him for justice. That's very important. Naturally, he administers justice or he advocates particular specific during question. You see, of course, by making use of the the services of the tribunals in the Apostolic See or individual judges. It's very important that should left to the Supreme One. See, coming to a way of conclusion, I would say a few points. One of the most effective ways of implementing the resource-minded adornment of the Church desired and decreed by Vatican II is the revision of the Oriental Canon. It has been established that the Eastern Code is coherent with the conciliar teaching, especially the teachings of the Nomentensive, Ecclesiarum Orientali, Orientatis, rather than Ratio, and even Sacrosanctum Concilium. Now, the vision of the Second Vatican Council about the mystery of the Church as unum et plurem was translated into canonical language by introducing in CCO, the Oriental Code, the concepts such as Church sui juris and right. Church is a unum et plurem that denotes the ecclesiology of the Most Holy Trinity. The ecclesiology is very well reflected in the communion ecclesiology of the Second Vatican Council, and this particular teaching of the Church has been translated into canonical language, of course, very specifically in the Eastern Code. Now, the third point, Vatican II is a recognition of the venerable traditions and the patrimony of the Eastern churches, and the eagerness to promote their growth are commendable. You see, the different traditions, the heritage of autonomous churches, the legacy of the churches shall be taken into consideration and given due respect, and from the church evaluation from the Supreme Pontiff or from the Apostolic, or even the lower hierarchs. So you see, all have a very important task. They have a good duty, and they should be duty bound to promote the growth. That's very good because the Second Vatican Council has already escorted that, and it is a kind of perspective that these traditions should be given due respect, and that should be promoted and to grow with its fullness with the apostolic vigor and vitality. So with this, I conclude, and I express my heartfelt gratitude to all the listeners, especially to the organizers of this International Canon Law Conference. Thank you so much.